Do you ever notice how small mistakes during the day and maybe in the morning turn into an entire day of messing up? How you tell yourself that you're going to go out, one drink becomes two drinks becomes four drinks, and before you know it, you have a total fucking bender. How one cheat meal turns into an entire cheat day. How you tell yourself that you'll start on Monday, Monday becomes next week becomes next month, and before you know it, you're fucking 4, 5, 6 months down the line, and you still haven't done the thing that you really want to do. One snooze becomes five snoozes, an entire morning is just gone, and you wake up already feeling behind, already feeling like you should have done more. So this video is about creating momentum and how you are actually quite consistent with swinging between two types of momentum. Because we often think that momentum is only something that creates positive things, but you can create momentum into doing things that spiral you downwards as well. So there's the upward spiral, the momentum that drives upwards, and there's the momentum that drives you downwards. Now, most people find themselves swinging from one extreme to the other extreme every single week, which is why they never really amount to anything, which is why they never really achieve anything. Now, I want to talk about this because this is very deeply rooted into your identity as well. The idea that we need to let loose in the weekends, the idea that we can have some fun in the weekends, only to start over again on Monday. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you why this is literally the biggest bullshit lie that you've been telling yourself, which is keeping you from actually achieving the great things that you want. Because the problem becomes visible when you claim that you want to achieve bigger things, but your actions don't align. For example, when you want to lean down with your physique and you're very, very consistent Monday through Friday, but then you let loose in the weekends and you fuck up your entire diet, and you can't out-train a bad diet. You can't outwork a bad diet. It just doesn't work like that. So I want to talk about this concept because a lot of you guys struggle with this, and it is, in a lot of sense, an identity problem. Now, you don't wake up in the morning and decide to ruin your day. It just happens automatically. Now, you are actually extremely consistent. I want to reframe your idea about consistency because I think consistency is something that has been used and abused online to sell you bullshit. And the reason why people can't seem to stay consistent is because they don't really understand what consistency really is. You already are extremely consistent with keeping everything alive. If you look at the past 2 to 3 to 4 months, for example, of your life, look at how consistent you have been with being inconsistent. Look at how consistent you have been maybe even over the past 5 years. The same cycles, the same thoughts, the same habits, the same patterns, the same up and downs every single fucking week, every single fucking month. You are extremely consistent, my friend, but that consistency is just pointed into the wrong direction. This is because of internal beliefs, because of how you look at the world, because of a perspective that you hold, which is ingrained in your identity. Most people, they swing between these two extremes. They swing between Monday through Friday being consistent, creating this upward spiral, and in the weekends, creating momentum that brings them downward, so letting loose. So everything that you've built through Monday through Friday, that consistency, that discipline, whether it be working on a project, whether that be locking in with sleep and routines, whether that be dieting, for example, to lean down, most people go and swing to the other side in the weekends, basically ruining that momentum that they've created before. So you create momentum, you destroy it in the weekend by the opposite momentum, which brings you down, and then you repeat it. And most people never fucking question it. And they tell themselves, I want to be more consistent. You are consistent. You're just pointing into the wrong direction. That's the key. And this is based on identity. So the problem isn't effort. The problem is direction. And I want you to think of it like this. The reason why life seems so hard in so many instances why consistency seems so hard is because what is momentum? If you think about it. If you think about lifting a weight from the ground, for example, or pushing a heavy weight forward, pushing a really heavy ball forward, what is the moment that costs you the most effort? It is the beginning of the movement, right? It is the first initial push that you have to give that ball in order to get it rolling. But then once it gets moving, it's actually quite easy. You don't really have to do that much. So what most people are doing is they are creating this momentum throughout the week. And then in the weekend, they're basically like, you know what? I've pushed this thing the whole week, so now I can just leave it and not do anything with it, only to start again on Monday and It takes so much effort to start over every single time. But you keep doing it and you keep complaining about why you're not seeing the results that you want to see. So every Monday feels hard because you keep restarting. But consistency over time wins. Small consistency wins. There's one of my coaches, one of my mentors told me it's better to be consistently good than to be occasionally great. And this is completely true. So the person that will spend 20 minutes every single day learning a new skill will get much further, will learn much more than the person that spends 1 day a week, that entire day, just learning that skill to then just not do anything for an entire week to come back the next week and do the same thing. The guy that spends 20 minutes every day, even though it's less time over an entire week, will go further, will achieve more. But here is where the real issue is, in my opinion. The real issue is about how we look at life. Because ever since that you grow up, you have this idea about the weekend is relaxed, the weekend is chill. So once you try to push through that weekend, it becomes extremely uncomfortable for most people because it goes into everything that they stand for, that they believe in. And they get this feeling like they get overworked and, oh, I can't relax now. But the problem is that most people letting loose and blowing off steam means fucking up their routines with sleep, fucking up their morning routines, fucking up their diet. It means fucking up potential business deals or projects that they'd be working on. And it means fucking up their health because they go out, they drink and all that kind of stuff and eating and whatever not. So you have the wrong idea about letting loose. But if you have done this and if you've looked at this the same way your entire life, then obviously that's going to be hard to get rid of, right? And this is why so many people, they defend their weekends and they go like, and I can hear some of you also saying as well, yeah, but I need some time to like put my mind at ease and I need some time to relax, right? And how am I else going to be going forward and how am I going to do this? And I understand this and I agree that you do need time to relax. You do need time off to just sit down and turn your mind off and do some other stuff that doesn't require you to constantly be on. I agree with this, but I don't agree with that being activities like drinking, fucking up my routines, fucking up my sleep. I don't agree with any of that, right? I can easily keep momentum going and still create time to just turn off and zone out and do something else and create space to be creative and all that kind of stuff. But it's this belief that we hold that is ingrained into our identity because it's so fucking familiar. You've literally been grown up with this fucking bullshit lie that the weekends are the letting loose. But ask yourself this. For all those people that say like, well, if I can't let loose, then how am I going to do this? You can't stick to something for more than fucking 5 days without completely just obliterating the momentum that you created. Like, how are you ever going to achieve anything in life if you can't stick to something for a longer period of time? If you can't be consistent with the same fucking thing over a longer period of time? If you need to let loose every fucking 5 days, you're not going to fucking make anything work in life. And I know that there's going to be people right now that say, well, I know guys that work from Monday to Friday and they have a good time in the weekends and, they can actually do it. Perhaps. But why would you? Like, I can do it too. You have been doing it your entire life. But is it really what you want? Is it really what's going to help you achieve the things that you want to achieve? It is not. Because if that was the case, then you would have not been watching this video. Then you would have already been the person that you really want to be. So you have just been conditioned to have this weekend of letting go. That's what I did when I was younger as well. You get school through the week, and then the weekends you did fun things with friends. Eventually, you get a bit older, you start drinking, and it becomes a normal thing. Everyone around you does it, but it's fucking bullshit. So if you think it's hard, think about this. What is really hard is creating momentum, crashing in the weekends, starting over again on Monday. Creating momentum, crashing in the weekends, starting over again on Monday, and doing this for the rest of your fucking life. That is hard. Constantly complaining, constantly asking yourself, why the fuck is it so hard for me to reach these goals? And why does it look so easy for other people? It's because they understand that the weekends are not for letting loose. They understand that if you're bound by this idea of creating momentum, letting it go, you'll never get to the place where you want to get to. And you don't need the weekend to do these kinds of things, right? You can take any day of the week, but what's important is to stay consistent with creating momentum that helps you move forward, that spirals you upwards, instead of losing that momentum to create momentum the other way, to swing the other way around and create things that will bring you down, it only to just start over again. Because, like we mentioned before, the hardest part is to start. That costs you the most energy. This is usually why you are feeling fatigued. The very thing that you are trying to keep alive is the very reason why you need it in the first place. It's stupid. It's literally fucking insane if you think about it. Rest isn't self-sabotage, guys. Rest isn't fucking up your routine. You can relax, rest without ruining that momentum. You can keep your wake-up time the same. You can keep your diet the same. You can keep your routines, your night and your morning routines the same. I don't think you need to blow off steam. I think you need to stop creating pressure in the first place, which is what most people are doing. Now, how do you stop creating pressure? Is by consistently keeping the momentum going. Now, how do you create momentum, guys? How do I create momentum? Because if I wasn't able to keep that momentum going, I wouldn't be able to be as disciplined and consistent as I am. I wouldn't have the energy to perform at the level that I'm performing at right now. Because if I had to start over again every single week or every single day, for example, I would be fucking exhausted. And I would also feel like I need to let loose and have this time off, but I don't. What I've noticed is momentum and consistency doesn't mean being consistent with these grand things. It means consistent in the small little areas of your life. So the way that I create consistency is through creating momentum every single morning by doing little things that are just little wins. So I accumulate little wins every single morning. And that starts by waking up at the same time every single day. And that is a non-negotiable for me. That is just, and I do this in the weekends, and I do this every single day. I don't have a hard time with this. Little wins accumulate because they create momentum that I can keep going throughout the day. And the morning is the most important part, guys. If you win the morning, you win the day. How many times have you heard this? But how many times have you fucked it up? How many times have you done it Monday through Friday, but then fuck it up in the weekends? And there's nothing harder than sleep routines, for example, and wake up routines. If you wake up every day at 5 a.m. and then in the weekends you fuck it up, it's very hard to get back into that same routine on Monday and Tuesday. You still feel like shit. On Wednesday, it starts getting better. Thursday and Fridays, you're in, only to fuck it up again on Saturday and Sunday. Especially if you do drinking in the weekends, you take alcohol, you take drugs, for example, it just completely goes to shit. So it's not hard. That's hard. What I do isn't hard. It's actually quite easy because once you get in that momentum, you just wake up every single day. So what does this mean? It means, yes, that you have to give up your late nights where you are drinking with your buddies until 2 to 3 to 4 a.m. And if that is really, really important to you, then so be it. But then stop complaining about being consistent. Stop complaining about the fact that you can't do shit, okay? And just accept your life. It's okay. Don't feel ashamed about it. But if you want to become better, you need to understand what you value, all right? If you value drinking with your friends, taking drugs, going out in the weekends, if that's something that you value, then that's all right. It's not a value that I agree with because it's unhealthy as fuck, and I think that you have the wrong friends, in my opinion, and I think that you should look for other things to have fun. But what I value is I value waking up early in the mornings, having my routine, creating that momentum, because I know that it will propel me forward throughout the day. And I know that over a period of time, over a long period of time, over a year's time, for example, it will help me so much to become better, achieve more, whether it be with work, with physique, with mental, spiritual, anything. Because it's just that consistency, that momentum that I create every single day. And that is more important to me. That is more valuable to me. My health, my routines, my performance, my focus, those things are more important to me because I don't feel good about myself if I would go out in the weekends now and drink and just feel hungover. I wouldn't feel good. That wouldn't give me the feeling of relaxation. That wouldn't give me the feeling of rest. So you have to change your perspective. You have to reframe those things in your mind. And I know this is hard for most people because you've been conditioned, you've been trained to think about these things in this way, to think about weekend, have fun, let loose, blah, blah. And once you start believing that, if you tell yourself a lie enough times, you start taking it as a truth. So for you, it's not a lie anymore. For you, it's truth. This is something that I had to break through as well. But once you break through that truth and once you see that really it's fucking bullshit, that's when you start living. That's when you start fucking going, my friend. And then I don't need a weekend. I can take a day off if I want. I still wake up early. I still do my stuff. I still do my routines, but I'll take the day off, go out in nature, have a little hike, spend some time with friends. Don't think about work too much, but I'm in bed by 8, 9 p.m. and doing the same thing tomorrow morning. But then I have my rest day. It's amazing. So, what I want you to do if you really want to create momentum, the hardest thing is to do it 7 days a week and then to do it for 30 days. But do it for 30 days and you'll be changed. So what I do in the morning is I just create little wins, little tiny things that I know I can do that will kind of propel me forward, that will create that first momentum. So I wake up at 5 a.m., I take a cold shower, I do my push-ups, I do some movement, I do some reading, for example. I go to the gym in the mornings, whether it be cardio or whether it's a weightlifting workout. So before 8 to 9 a.m., I already have accumulated so many little wins that just keep me going throughout the day. So I just perform and do so many things because I have this massive amount of proof and momentum that I've already created in the morning just by doing tiny little things. Like I said, better to be consistently good than occasionally great. So take little things that you know you can do. Best thing is that you create little, I wouldn't say challenges, but little things like waking up earlier that require you to be disciplined. Because once you do the thing that is disciplined, once you do the thing that requires discipline, you will create confidence, right? And that confidence, that is where it becomes easier to go throughout the day. That's where you start to feel better about yourself. And that is why it becomes more addictive to actually keep that thing going instead of letting loose in the weekends, doing some fucked up shit. Understand, guys, that your life isn't determined by big moments, but it's determined by what you consistently do every single day. It's determined by the direction of your momentum. Momentum is, again, you decide, you can point your momentum into a specific direction. You can point your energy into a specific direction, which will either help you lift upwards or which will either bring you down. So what you want to avoid is this swinging motion, this pendulum of like being consistent throughout the week and then in the weekend fucking up, which is what 99% of the population is doing, right? You want to avoid that. This is going to take some time because, again, you are going to tell yourself, you're going to keep telling yourself this lie, oh, but I feel so stressed and this and that. That is the first step. You have to break through this pattern, break through this belief that you have about how rest works, what fun is, what letting loose means. Because, again, letting loose isn't drinking. It isn't fucking up your routines. It's only making it worse, but you believe that it's going to help you. And this is why you keep doing it. Break that belief. That's when you change your identity. And that's when you become the person that you really want to become. Because creating that momentum every single day is going to help you achieve so much more in life. It's going to help you become the person that you want to be instead of having to start over every single fucking week, every single 2 weeks, or maybe every single month. And this will shine through in business, physique, health, relationships, everything that you do. You want to feel good about yourself? Do this for 30 days. See what happens. And then keep that fucking going. See how addictive it becomes to be a fucking disciplined savage. See how good you feel. See how confident you feel. See how many more things you are willing to take on, how many more risks you're willing to take, how much more responsible you become just because you feel good about yourself. You create confidence because you know that you're the guy that does what he says he's going to do. And that is worth something. That is what you can build upon. And that is when you keep this momentum in this direction, and that's when you can go fast. You can do a lot, you can go fast, you can do much more than you think right now. So my friend, stop restarting, start rolling. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.